Hey everybody, it's Dave, Blue Jacket 66 here for another video. This is going to be one of those videos where I'm showing off some cards out of my collection. I finally decided to try to catalog some of my cards, at least some of the higher end ones, over the next year or so. And that means dragging them out of storage places or safety deposit box or whatever and cataloging what they are and their approximate values at that time. So I started off with some of my Mandels last week or a week or two ago, and now I just grabbed just some more cards pretty randomly, although there's a little bit of pattern. There's a little bit of a Clemente run and some Cobbs, but it's pretty random, and some of them they've been shown before, obviously. I think I've been on YouTube for over 4 years now, probably approaching 5. And so it'll be a good refresher for some of those who joined me within the last year or two, because it's really tough to dive way back in people's videos, because I've put out, for me, a fair amount of videos. For some of you, I've put out very few. So we're going to look at that in a second. Again, just enjoyed all the videos from the National, all the pickups. I just watched George's tonight, and saw that Red Heart Mantle he got, and makes me feel good when makes me feel really good when something I've said or shown triggers an interest in other collectors, because that's what it's all about. And the same has happened to me over the years before YouTube. It just going way back, but people influence you and introduce you to card issues that you may like, or players you may like, or different collecting avenues. There's a lot going on YouTube, and I've really, for my mental health, cut back. I watch probably your videos, but as far as the influencer videos, I don't watch any of those, because it's really not good, and it's not good. It doesn't have anything to do with what I do and what I believe is a hobby. I am so ingrained with baseball card collecting, and to a lesser extent general sports card collecting, that it's really been part of my life since I was 12 years old, 13 years old. I collected and bought cards before that. So it's very important to me. It was important to my dad. And so I'm not going to let, when I hear people blowing smoke, I'm not going to let it go. So I am avoiding watching people who are blowing smoke up your asses and do not know what they're talking about for vintage. They don't know at all. Just for some of my sanity. But I do catch some of them from time to time where people send me clips, and I call them out. And I don't want to be the bad guy in the community, but if there's money in these cards, and there's heart and soul in these cards, and if you're giving bad information out, I'm going to call you out. I'm going to do it every single time. And I think Sports Card Investor probably blocks me now, or immediately erases my comments. I don't want to be nasty, but when I see bullshit, I'm calling it out, and I'm going to. And some of my best friends on YouTube know that I call them out too, and I expect to be called out too. Why do you think? I know a lot about food and beverage cards from the 50s, a lot, way more than most people. But I'm very careful what I say, because I don't want to say something and just blow it out there like I'm the expert, because I'm afraid Brian Powell will see it, and I don't want to look like an ass to him or a stupid guy. I don't want talk about 49 Bowmans, and Ted Z all of a sudden rings me up, says, "I saw your video, you're wrong." But I think we should be corrected, and I think that I correct people all the time, because it bothers me not. I mean, it's education, it's teaching, and I don't know it all. You don't know it all, and it's okay to educate each other. But what I don't want, and what I will not tolerate, is people pretending like they're knowledgeable and that they have information that is useful. I won't mind it if it's with good intention, and they're admitting that they don't know what they're talking about. But when you start making videos that are just embarrassing, and I mean outright embarrassing, I can't let it slide. I wish I could let it slide. I'm not easygoing. I'm just not that easygoing, and I have to be a guardian for this hobby for vintage and pre-war cards. I have to be. I'm not sure that many people out there are. So I just want to hold people to at least be responsible, because there's people out there watching them, and there's way more people are watching them than me, and that's fine as long as they're being truthful and that their knowledge is honest knowledge. Spend some time, spend some years, spend some decades learning it before you're spewing out stuff to other people that are wanting to learn or believe what you say. I'll probably be going on and on about that more, but I don't want to become too obsessive about it. There's a sports card collecting now is really funny. I wish we could get back to me bringing some cards over to some guy's house and looking at cards. And I think next year I may, if I have time, try to go on a little yearly sabbatical where I'm going around to fellow collectors' house and just letting them share their cards with me. And not to me to make videos about it. Not, I'm so tired of everybody just cashing in. It's just a big cash in on it. And that's not what I'm about. Now I'm going to show some cards here that are really high dollar and rare, and you have to remember that I've been doing this a long time, and you have to remember that where you are, if you're just a beginner, I was there too. And where I am now in my collecting career is my collecting career has gone into phases, and the last 10 years has been a consolidation phase where I can't have rooms and rooms and rooms of stuff and storage lockers. I just can't do that. So, I'm getting older, so I'm in this phase of where I'm consolidating down. So some of the things you may see, you'll be like, well, I can never afford that. Well, I can't either, but I consolidated down, and the things that I believed in and the things that I wanted to buy, at some point I bought them, because I can't think of a single sport card or baseball card that I bought that I thought, these are cheap, I'm buying this as a great deal. I mean, when I was buying Dale Murphy rookies and Eddie Murray rookies, and I was struggling to pay, $7 to $15 per card for it. But don't wait too long. Pull the trigger. I mean, that's one thing about vintage versus modern cards. Vintage cards paid their dues. They're established. They don't lie. Modern cards, you pull a card, it's a $100,000 card. It hasn't paid its due, and it may be lying to you, and it may be completely worthless. But with these vintage cards, I hear people say that, all these baby boomers are going to be gone. People, when I was collecting these cards when I was 15 years old, these cards were already 60 to 70 years old, and Babe Ruth had been dead 30, 40 years. And Ty Cobb took his last swing 50 years before. So it's just not the way it works. For vintage, it won't lie to you. It's Coca-Cola. I was buying some stocks in the mid-90s. I was young, I was 30. And so you couldn't go wrong in the mid-90s with stocks. But anyway, I was buying Intel and Coca-Cola and Johnson & Johnson, etc. But occasionally would buy an IPO like Jerry's Pizza got recommended to me. Jerry's Pizza out of California. Luckily, I was smart enough to know, wait a minute, Intel, Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, yet you're buying Jerry's Pizza. So my advice to you in vintage, don't buy Jerry's Pizza. Buy Coca-Cola. You may not be able to afford 100 shares of Coca-Cola, but maybe you can just afford a share or two. Get it. Get the vintage car you want. It may hurt, but 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, maybe just a year down the road, you're going to be happy. We'll talk about all this stuff a lot more. I'm starting to ramble here. I want to show some baseball cards. I'm very proud of this particular collection of them that I grabbed. Not any specific cards, but I just grabbed these 2 stacks, and they're exciting, and I am proud to show them to my friends, and I'm humbled by them, and nothing makes me feel better than showing vintage baseball cards to people that enjoy it. So let's just take a look. Okay, so here we go. This is going to be a lot of fun for me. I think I grabbed maybe 25 cards or so. I hope they're all in this field of vision here. It's kind of hard to tell. Okay, the first card is this beautiful 1910 E98 Ty Cobb. Now the E98s they're proven from 1910. They're really not sure of the source, so they're known as those UNC because they don't know exactly where they came from or what factory. Some of them had Old Put cigar stamps on them, so there seemed to be some association there. And I think the Black Swamp find, I think there's some speculation because that find was in Ohio. And I think that whoever's attic it was, they found all those. The family owned a meat market or something. So there was some speculation that maybe the salesmen carried these around and gave them as samples to businesses. It's kind of just a promotional thing. The Black Swamp find was introduced a lot of E98s to the community. But these Cobbs, they're very, in PSA populations, they're all very small. Very, very small. They're so small that when I pulled these out and I just wanted to see what do they value of my cards today, at least these 25 I picked out. And a lot of them, I still don't have any idea because the comps are, there's not been sales for years and years and years. Here's the second one, the blue background of the set. This, I think, PSA may have overgraded this a little bit, but, if you want reliable, I like PSA, I've said it before, in SGC, but for pre-war vintage, really it's SGC. Here's the green background. Cobb. And they came in 4 colors, and so here we have it. We have the color run of the Cobbs. I am pretty proud of that because if you think about the population, at least the PSA population, you know how populations are, but for each color of the Cobb, there's 10 or less. So I don't know many people that have the full color run. Some of the players just had certain colors, but Cobb had 4, and there you go. And I like to say it, but I'll say it. You won't see this again. So the color run of the 1910 E98 set of 30, meaning there was 30 players in the set. Same images, some of the same images of the U.S. Caramel set and some of the George Close set, the E94s. Okay, the next one Really nice U.S. Caramel 1932 Thai Cobb. I would love to have the Ruth in this. This issue didn't initially thrill me for years and years and decades, but then it started to grow on me, and I picked up this Cobb, I think, within the last 2 years. Oh, boy. This is a biggie. This is a huge card. This is not a T206. This is a T213 coupons, type 2. They made 3 types, type 1, 2, and 3. 2 are the most common. There's not many of these. These are probably just released in Louisiana. They're not T206s. They differ by the font, by the gloss on them. Cobb down there, his name is in blue. That's not the T206. So this is the highest graded example of this. Here's the back. Probably released in Louisiana area after the T206 run. You know, that was 9 through 11. This is a year or two later. So to you pre-war vintage collectors, this is a big deal. This is one of my favorite cards in my entire collection. And the price of that, I paid a lot for it years and years ago, and it's unknown, the value right now. You all love this card, so do I. This is the T206. Green background. Common back, the sweet Caporal. You know, these are like anything else. They're becoming just you really just got to grit your teeth if you're going to buy one. But you just remember these T206s be found in very, very low grades and still look really nice. Nobody needs a perfect card that's 120 years old. Just nice to have a nice example. Here's my T206 red background. I got this one this year, and I've been waiting to get a red one, waiting for the perfect example with centering and big borders, and that's a fantastic one there. Next, that's another Cobb. The Willard's Chocolates from 1924 out of Canada. I have a Ruth of these too. Neat little set. I love the old candy cards. I love the old black and white cards. Famous outfielder for the Detroit, famous outfielder and manager. This is 1924. Blank back. Here's a Jackie. This is my 49 Leaf Jackie, and it's a 3.5, and man, you know, I keep thinking I should just send it in for a regrade, but I mean, it's just, there's none of that black print marks on it. It's just bright yellow. It's, as far as the centering, it's a little off top. It's pretty well centered. We all say that, but that's a damn good looking 2.5 or 3.5. And if I felt that PSA would honestly review cards and honestly give it a grade it should get, and I'm not an expert grader, but come on, I would send it in. But to be honest with you, I think they just steal your money. Don't even look at it and don't bump it. You guys gotta love this one. Shout out to Rated Rookie. What do you say? It's a 7. It's fantastic. I got this years ago. I really like the 50 Bowmans. I actually like the 50 Bowmans better than the 51 and 52 Bowmans, and 49 Bowmans are my favorite. Up next, the killer, the short printed and pulled 54 Bowman Ted Williams. Everybody should have one. It's one of the best copies I've ever seen. And this should be, the price of this card, in my opinion, should be astronomical. It's Ted Williams, top 5 player of all time, top 10, top 5, arguably the greatest hitter of all time. You can argue that. Short print in this beautiful 54 Bowman. This card should be stratospheric. And not that it's not expensive, but, affordable. This one's crazy. Just glad to pull this out and look at this again. My 53-54 Briggs meat came on a hot dog. It was a hot dog wrapper. It was a panel with 2 players. One just sold, an authentic one sold in Robert Edwards. There's another one up, letting the cat out of the bag in Love of the Game, ending Saturday. What's special about this one is it has a numbered... PSA's only graded 9 of these, period. And only 2 of them received number grades. This is one. Presumably because it has this orange border. Now, most of people just cut out the picture, but I don't think you're going to see one that has an orange border like that. Shout out to Rick, Vintage Oddball Cards, who I'm egging on to nab one of these. This is going to be a mid to upper 5-figure card in the next 5 years. I would be surprised if this isn't a $50,000 card in a couple years. And but you don't see them with the orange border. That orange border has got to flip you out if you know this issue. I think this is the best one there is out there. Just my opinion. But there is a PSA 3 out there, and I've never seen it. Big boy. The M1015 is the name of this issue. And on the back, it's the rare Indianapolis Brewing Company. For years and years, there was only one of these known, and this is it. In the interim, a PSA 3 has surfaced, so there's 2. Joe Jackson, 1916 Indianapolis Brewing. When I bought this, I think at the time it was the most I'd ever paid for a sports card, and its value has nothing but gone up. It's just one of those things where you just got to tighten up. I got to have it. Yeah, it may not be the smartest thing, but it's vintage. It's now or never. That's a biggie in my collection. Here's my 1915 Cobb. Again, these have become completely ridiculously unaffordable. It's a 1915 because it's a little bit thicker, and if you turn it over, the back is upside down. Whereas in 2014, the writing was right side up. But I like the 1915 Cracker Jacks that have some honest staining on them. They were in the boxes with the Cracker Jacks. Some of the 1915, all the 1914s were in boxes. Some of the 1915s were in boxes, but some of them you could send away for. So that's a monster card. Not as big as monster as this one is. Oh, this is a 1910 orange borders. It came from a candy box. For the candy, it's blank. This is so rare and such a good issue that I don't know how to value it. I was trying to write down and figure it out. And you've seen a few. It's very, very, very rare. And this one is such a beautiful copy. You see ones that are just literally run over by a truck that are It's too expensive. I don't know. These don't sell. You don't see them. You just don't see them. There's no way I can comp it. The only way I could figure out is an educated guess and put it up for auction in REA. And I'm very proud of that one. I have a Mathewson 2. I would like a Wagner. There's 2 Wagner poses. I would like his batting pose, but I think that the days of me being able to get that are gone. And they're so rare you never see them. So, okay, here's my number 92 Gehrig. Unreal colors. I put stickers on there. Those stickers, I think I put stickers on sometimes what I pay at the time, and I don't know. I don't want to show it. It doesn't mean anything. That's a beauty. We're moving on. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Baseball Collector. This is my 49 Satchel Paige. This is not part of my set. The one I have in my set is a 6. This one's much better. That one isn't quite as well centered. This one just had. This one showed up when I got this. It was in Sterling auction, and I think he had it at the National. And I walked by his table, Lee, and I said, Lee, I think the auction was going to be in a month or after that. I said, you might as well just put my shipping label on it because I'm buying that card. I'm winning that card in the auction, and I did. Oh, everybody's got to have one of these. Get these 49 Bowmans, get it low grade, and you'll just be pleased as punch. Get yourself a 49 Bowman Musial. Very affordable. Burke Ross, I like this. I'm not the hugest fan of the issue. I got this at a National several years ago, the Williams. Here's a good one. The Maze. Don't see it very often. I think this Maze is going to go the way of the Mantle. The Mantle has become, I don't know. It's become a $50,000 card and a 7 to 8. This one's just going to go anywhere but up. So rare. Not Burke Ross. Just it's really hard to find the Maze. Oh, this is a highlight, I think. You're going to like this one. The 1952 Burke Ross, Jackie Robinson, and an 8. If you're going to hold me to the fire about, okay, name 2 cards that you think are going to skyrocket. And it's just for fun, because I don't know any more than anybody else. I would say this card is, forget about the grade, just in any grade. I think the 52 Burke Ross Jackie is going to go the way of the Mantle or even higher. It's going to go up stratospheric. And I think the 53-54 Briggs meet Maze. But what do I know? Okay. Hey, someone wanted to see some Clementes. When I showed my Mantles, they said, show us some Clementes. So we're about wrapping up these 2 stacks that I pulled to show today. And I got a lot more that we will be coming this year. Let's bet. Someone wanted to see some Clementes, and these are just some of my Clementes. None of my food and beverage ones at all. They're not on my regular issue, but there's some pretty good ones. So let's start off with the 68. Beautiful image. You might recall my 69. I had a PSA 9 1969 Topps Clemente, which I'd gotten from PWCC, who maybe a year or 2 later, if you watch my video, mailed me to let me know that it was trimmed. So they paid me back what I paid for it. I sent it to them. They cut me a check. I wonder what happened to that card. I don't trust those bastards. Turned it over to the FBI my ass. I bet you they broke it out and resubmitted it. But oh, here is the 62. Clemente's got some really beautiful and classic image cards. He's also got some duds, in my opinion. Just not such great images. Here's the 61. Really a affordable card. Now, guys, I know we're talking sports cards, and affordable is relative, but as far as Clemente's in mid to higher grade, the 61, doesn't kill you. My favorite issue of the 60s, the 60. I love 1960 tops. '57. 57s can be washed out and aren't my favorite set, but the Clemente is great. The Aaron is fantastic. I'm not a huge fan of the Williams, Mays, or Mantle, but Clemente's nice. Here's a sweet card here. 56 and an 8. People, centering, edges, color, registration, whatever. I happen to, for some reason, not always, but I did look at centering. Here's his rookie, a 4. Don't like it as much as the 56. I don't think that was his batting stance. Okay. Now, this is the test issue, the 1969 Top Super. So now I have the Clemente, I have the Mantle, I have the Reggie Jackson. One of these is in Love of the Game as well, in the PSA 9. I actually bid on it because I forgot I had this. These are glossy cards. They're a test issue. It's not clear if they were just released occasionally in some cello packs or maybe mixed in as a insert in small areas, small amounts. But compared to the populations of the 1969, they're quite a bit less. There's some rumor also about a big truck that had the supply of them catching fire or something like that. Some stupid story like that ridiculous 52 Tops Hudson River dump, that rumor or whatever. All right, last one. This one is a tearjerker. The incredibly rare 1968 Topps 3D test issue of Clemente. I think when I made the video, when I got this, I actually got choked up and cried a little bit. I was so proud of this card. It's what I tell you. Some of them are blank back like this, and of them say it's a zero form test. Those are take a little bit more premium. But you can never see it on this, but I brought it to the National, I think, in 2019. But it really is their test 3D, and it does have a really nice 3D image. So that's one of my favorite cards and would be the last that you'd pull out of my dead hands. So that's it. That's for this load. There'll be more to come. I hope you enjoyed it, and sorry about the 10-minute rant. I didn't realize it went that long, but I'm just passionate about vintage. I don't like, I just want honesty. I want integrity. I want integrity in this hobby. And I'm not the vintage policeman. Maybe I just want it too much. I just want it too much for there to be integrity. And so sometimes you can't force the issue, and you just got to look at yourself and say, are you doing the right thing? But have a great weekend, and thanks for watching.